in the introduction to Drush Base, which we're not going to be able to get into because of the time here, because we want to get to the next stage of our limud, which is going to be about Sfiras Omer, which has started. So excuse my voice because I'm drinking a little tea, and tea always screws up my voice a little bit. So now, here we're going to, if you remember, what we've been learning up to this time is because of the transmigration of the souls of, let's say, the neshamas, the lost neshamas, who never had yichud, that traveled throughout the generations in a mass migration through the flood, and then through the Tower of Babel, and now into Mitzrayim, places of really tremendous pain and contraction. We saw that Zer Anpin, that is the spiritual Zer Anpin, which is the formation of light coming through the balance scale, coming down towards us, withdraws. Withdraws instead of spreading downwards, goes in a completely defensive position, which is called Ivor. Now we're going to get to Yanika and Mochin, which is the concept of growth. V'hinei shlosha zamanim yesh b'zer anpin. V'hen nikroim Ivor, Yanika, and Mochin. Ivor hu hazaman harishon shemekabel tosefes Mochin. It's a time when the Mochin begin to come in. Ivor is the very beginning time. Ubizmana Ivor hu mekabel me parts of Yisrael Sabbat Avuna b'chinas nefesh. The Hainu Nefesh and the Nefesh, the Hainu Nefesh, the Neshama. Now, why did he say that? At this time, what's coming into him is coming from Yisrael Sabbat Avuna. Whatever comes from Yisrael Sabbat Avuna is going to be the quality of Panimia is called Neshama. The Hare Nefesh Ruach HaKolim, Yesh Gavar. That's the way Zer Anpin was originally created. But the Chidas Atzilusa, from the time that it came and began to appear, and never really stopped. That relationship never stops. Those Mochin are basically the Chagadnai of Zer Anpin are always there. V'zman Yaniko, whom mekabel parts of Yisrael Sabbat Avuna, the Bechina of Ruach. Now Ruach is a higher level. The Ruach is a greater light, or let's say the wind. I don't know exactly what it is. The breath of life. The Hainu Ruach, the Neshama. Now it has the Ruach of Neshama. Neshama, because it's coming from Yisrael Sabbat Avuna, and it's the Ruach part. Partsufim Elo Nekroim Katnas Canal. So these two, which are called Chagat Nai, are considered to be Katnas. Kevin Shehem Shtei Partsufim Achitzoni, because they're the most outside Partsufim, they're further away from Erik Anpin, Shel parts of Neshama, and they're the most outside part of the parts of Neshama, which is coming, again, from Yisrael Sabbat Avuna. V'zmana Gadlus, now when Gadlus takes place, a Nikra Mochin, that's called Mochin. Who, and let's say Mochin at this point means consciousness of the light. Who mekabel as shloshas apartzuvim b'nimirim k'miyisrael Sabbat Avuna, which are now shehem neshama chayin yechida. At that point, he gets all of these three lights, the neshama, but they're the aspects of neshama itself. It's interesting. Who nikra gadlus, it's called also by the name gadlus, not just mochin. It's also called by the name of gadlus. Kemin shehem shlosha partzuvim. Because they are the interior partsufim, meaning that they are closer to the light of the Ein Sof. Apidimium shall parts of the neshama. And now the whole Narantchi, Hishlim Azer Anpin Lakabel, as called parts of the neshama, and so at that point Zer Anpin now has the complete parts of the neshama inside of him, parts of, and it comes from where? From Yisrael Sabbat Avuna, Hanikra Baklalis, all Lamas Neshama. So remember that connection is always coming from this klal called Neshama. So now he says, Kol Cham Shacha V'Cham Shacha, Hu B'Bechinas Sheganegdo. Now what does that mean? Each one of them corresponds to an opposite aspect. What is that? Now what does that mean? The Hainish Bizmana Ivor, when the Ivor time is coming, Shahaz Mekabel Zer Anpen Yisrael Sabbat Avuna Nefesh the Neshama. He gets the Nefesh part of the Neshama. So what's coming into him is the Nefesh part of the Neshama, and Neshama really refers to what's coming from Yisrael Sabbat Avuna. Hine v'hu mekabel bebechinas nefesh be'ima. He gets it from the nefesh be'ima atzma, herself. Shahari bekol bechina yesh bo chamisha partsufim ba'ovi. Because remember, we have the concept that the partsufim are alike side by side. V'lechein bizmana iver, so therefore the time of iver, who mekabel mebechinas ha'iver shavi Yisrael sabat devuna, so he's getting the concept of iver from Yisrael sabat devuna, the haine beparts v'chitzon hanikna the roundke the nefesh shehu bebechinas ivor. A little bit more. Ovizman Yanika, when Yanika comes now, hu mekabel Yisrael sabat devuna, hayosef benimi, an aspect of the light that's coming from neshama, an aspect of it which is more panimi, shehem neralki, the ruach hanikra parts of Yanika. Let's a little bit more, then I'm going to see if I can find a drawing that would help us to understand this. Of Izmana godless, Mekabel b'shlosha partsufim b'minimi, it gets from the three partsufim that are the more interior parts, which are the nechi, shehem on the roundki, the neshama, chai and yechida. All of those neroundkis now will come in godless. Shehem b'bechinas a godless, which is the aspect of godless. V'kol makom neknazim shlosha partsufim godless, parts of into parts of achas. V'lechein kashenihya kashenihya godach b'kabach of shloshos on the roundki shel on the shama chayin yechida. When it reaches the level of being godless, then it's receiving all of these lights, the ima, which are coming from ima mamochim elu nekroim havayos shel havayos. They're all called havayos instead of elokim. They're called havayos now. Shel mochin the katnas nekroim elokim, because mochin the katnas are called elokim. Mochin the godless are called havayos. Let me stop this for a second. I'm going to look for a drawing that I have here. I'm going to do this. Okay, so this is a drawing that really comes from a sefer which is called Eitz Chaim. What's it called? The Eitz Chaim. Eitz Chaim Limso Ehem. I have the book. But here we go. This is taken out of my Sfiras Omer. This is a picture of Ovi. Because for every system that is going down from the top to the bottom, we'll read through it a little bit. Every system that's going down from the top to the bottom also could be looked at as going from inside outwards. The most inside part of this drawing, and let's just give the note to where it belongs. It says, Seder Hamidas HaPartzufim. And Al-Pi or Halavona, this is a sefer, Chelik or HaChaim Daf Reish Lamed Vav, the Shitas Maram Hagoin Asada. This is the Sada, famous Syrian Kabbalist. So this is a picture of Yasod. Yasod is going to come into Zeir Anpin, but you have to understand when he comes in with this in this panoply, in this setup. So on the most outside part, now this would be the most inside part. So the most inside part would be Yechida, and the most outside part would be Nefesh. Now notice, let me see if I can get down closer so we can see one of them. Within each partzuf can be really divided up into 5 partzufim. The way that he's doing it here is he has the gar. Let's just take this one, the Chaya, for example. They're all the same because they're duplicates one of the other. What's the difference? The difference is that they're further away from the source, which is inside, which was Eric Anpin, which is inside of this. Now let's look at it like this. These are the 10 spheres. Are Kachav, Chagat, Nehim. Those are the 10 spheros. Each one of them has 10 spheros, as we said before, and they can be divided into 5 partzufim. So there's Eric Anpin, then there's Abba Va'ima, and that's 3, and then there's Zun, that makes 5. Zohar Vanuk is 2. So let me see if we can get this focused a little bit better. So Zun. So each one of them is the same, but the difference is the source of the light is from the inside out. And that's what we're trying to portray, is that all of this then, this Yisrael Savat Tavuna, which is the lower element of Bina, he said that each one of them is going to have all the different 5 parts of it too. So as you go vertically, and then they're all going to go into, you see the arrows, they're all going to go into Zeir Anpin. Now, this is a little bit of a primer on how that looks, what Uvi looks like. Let's see if I can figure out where we're at now. So he said, here we are. So he said, now the Shlosha Medregos Aliyahs Hazah. There are 3 different levels of the Aliyah of Zeir Anpin. Now we talked about those things, which is part of the concept of called Soma. Shehigia Zeir Anpin Medregos Gadlus, as Zeir Anpin reaches a level of Gadlus. Hine Heim Chamisha Pamim Narantchi, there's 5 different Narantchis, Shemakaba Yisrael Sabatavuna, as we just showed in that drawing. Shehu parts of Neshama Hokolelis, which is, again, Yisrael Sabatavuna is a general parts of Neshama. V'hazhu Magia Lukumas Yisrael Sabatavuna, and we said that what happens is it causes Zeir Anpin to grow up to the height of Yisrael Sabatavuna, Shehu the Chaza Derich, which is up until the Chaza of Erik Anpin. So this level of reaching to the height of Yisrael Sabatavuna is called reaching the light of Katnas V'Gadlus Rishon. So he said Shnei and the Rantki Rishonim, which are Hemakatnas, which is again the Rantki of Nefesh and the Rantki of Ruach, V'Shlosha Chapanimim Heim Gadlus. So when the other 3 comes in, though, then you have light, a tremendous amount of consciousness. What consciousness? The consciousness of Hashem. Then you're going to get the Narantki again 5 times. Where's it going to come from? It comes from another partsif on top of it, which is called Yisrael Sabat, called Abba Ve'ima Eloyin. It's an aspect of the same kind of neshama, but now you're going to the very top part of this, Shalamalo Min Chaza. Now this is above the Chaza of Erik Anpin, which meaning, understand Erik Anpin, is that the Panemius of Erik Anpin is the Ein Sof Baruch Hu. And as we go up to the top of the of Erik Anpin, then we're really getting towards closer and closer to looking at it in a vertical sense, that the top of Erik Anpin is also extremely, extremely close to the light of the Ein Sof. Parts of Chai the Klali. So now we're getting here from Abba Ve'ima Eloyin, this new parts of which is called Chai Klali. The Megil Lagaran to Erik Anpin, and then it reaches up to the level of Erik Anpin. That is, Zeir Anpin moves up to that height. That level of reaching the Garon of Erik Anpin is called getting light from this place, which is called the Gadlus, which are called Katnas and Gadlus Sheni. So this is important for us also in spirit to know this. Gam Kam Canal. So also here we see as it going to Shnei HaRishonim Heim Katnas Sheni. That the first, in other words, from that level that you're getting from Erik Anpin, that you're getting also Nefesh and a Ruach from that level as well, they're going to be called Katna Sheni. B'shlosha Panimim Gadlus Sheni again Gadlus Sheni. So the Panimim, which is the Nachi, the Neshama, the Chai and the Hida, those you're going to be able to, you're going to now call, that's coming for the level of Gadlus Sheni. So we'll read one more. I'm sorry, I'm screwing this up here. He said, V'acher kach mekabel od chamisha pa'amim nerantchi mibechinis Erik Anpin, shehu nikra parts of Yechida HaKlali, v'oz megia lukumas Erik Arich, Lagamrik reaches actually the ultimate height of Arich. Now we talked about this a little bit, of what time this, when does this take place, so on and so forth. This is Baruch Fleischman.